So coming to modern India, one of the very yielding portions of your UPSC, CSE, prelims examination, lots of questions are asked in the modern India part. If you check the last 10 to 15 years, yeah, regularly they ask a good number of questions from modern India. Modern India, you have to cover right from the death of Aurangzeb, 1707 onwards, okay, till the partition, achievement of the freedom, then post-independent events, especially in the news, that's important. So let's solve some very crucial questions from modern India in the short time. Okay, starting with Nandana, your question.
So immediate cause for Battle of Plassey.
Immediate cause for, so battles are very important, especially coming to modern India. They ask the battles, the reasons, their consequences, etc. Coming to Battle of Plassey, Battle of Buxar, they reshaped the destiny of this Bengal. In fact, the modern era, the colonial era, started with the victory of Plassey and Buxar. So one of the immediate reason for this Plassey battle is that black hole episode. Black hole, Sirajud-Dowlah and his force attacked Fort William, and certain people, I mean Englishmen arrested, were being put in this small prison cell of Fort William. Next day, when the door opened due to exhaustion, suffocation, what happened? A few people being killed, and to avenge that, there from Madras Presidency, Robert Clive and his force came and plotted with these relatives and men of this Rajuddaula. Finally, Sirajud-Dowlah, being cheated by his own men, defeated in the Plassey battle. So immediate reason is, of course, black hole episode. Connect with that. Okay. Now,
Sir, Regulating Act 1773, why it is important?
Regulating Act of 1773 is important because the colonial era, colonial rule, constitutional reforms of British East India Company or done by this British or through East India Company by British government, that is important. So the constitutional reforms in India started by this British with this very Regulating Act of 1773. Why it is significant? Because for the first time, British parliamentary intervention happened in the Indian affair through the East India Company by this Regulating Act of 1773, and it created a post of this Governor General of this Bengal, and the first Governor General of Bengal, you know who is he? It was Warren Hastings, and the first Governor General of India. Centralized administration started with this, Charter Act, and by which this William Bentinck became the first Governor General of India, and first Governor General of Fort William, or first Governor General of this Fort William, it is Warren Hastings. Am I right? Or of Kolkata, it is Warren Hastings. Okay. So that act is important because the first parliamentary intervention by British government through the company over Indian affair. That is by Regulating Act of 1773.
So why Pitt's India Act is important?
Pitt's India Act is important because that is 1784 that introduced the double government, dual administration, dual government introduced here. There is Court of Directors and Board of Control. Court of Directors for these companies' commercial affairs, Board of Control for these political affairs. Okay, so for the first time, dual government for the company is created, Court of Directors, Board of Control. Yeah, double government, that is by this Pitt's India Act.
Sir, who introduced and why introduced permanent settlement of Bengal?
Permanent settlement, that is to regulate, or that is to collect a permanent income for the company. They started this permanent settlement. Multiple objectives are there. So permanent settlement or zamindari settlement is actually, it's a revenue contract between the government and these zamindars of India. They wanted these money class people, the loyal friends of this British East India Company. So they're being appointed as the collectors and owners of the estate's land. They have to collect the revenue, a fixed income they have to give the government, surplus they can take for themselves. Okay, they will fix the income, or a fixed income they have to give the government, whatever the surplus they can take for themselves. Okay, permanent settlement, zamindari settlement, by which these farmers become landless, or they were left at the mercy of the zamindar. Zamindar is owner of the land, collector of the revenue, and he has to pay a fixed income to the state, and rest or maybe surplus he can take for himself. Okay, so it is to ensure a permanent income for the company. They introduced zamindari settlement, permanent settlement, and that is by Cornwallis, Governor General Cornwallis. He is the man who is also responsible for introduction of that initial civil service reforms. Yeah.
Sir, Revolt of 1857 began from?
Yeah, that is started from, if you ask me the place, it is from Meerut. Okay, And if you ask me the reasons, it is because of multiple reasons. You know that there is the soldiers problem is there. No, what was that? The soldiers issue. A rumor spread in the camp that yeah, this what is introduced here. Eh? These in the carriages, you know, these cows, you know, yeah, ghee or pigs, this fat is used. So Indian soldiers felt it is something to, you know, hurt the religious sentiments. Okay, Enfield rifle introduced, carriages introduced. Carriages is filled with grease. Grease is of this cow's fat or pig's fat. That rumor, that was something hurting the religious sentiments of Indian soldiers, Indian Hindu Muslim soldiers. So they refused to use this Enfield rifle and its cartridges. That is the immediate reason. But many political, social, economic, cultural reasons are there, which eventually leading to this 1857 revolt. And if you ask me the location, it started with the Meerut. Okay, yeah.
Sir, who introduced subsidy alliance and what was
Subsidiary
the
alliance, you know that there is Wellesley. There is a governor general called Wellesley. Okay, so subsidiary alliance is eventually it is for this, you know, controlling these or it is acquiring these Indian territories or Indian states and putting it under British. See, under subsidiary alliance, what happens? You know what is subsidiary alliance? You know what is subsidiary alliance? It's an alliance with the military alliance with this, you know, Indian rulers. Suppose an Indian ruler, okay, he is in need of this, you know, military support. British is supplying their troops on condition that your own soldiers must be, you know, disbanded and the Indian soldiers will be stationed in your territory. You have to pay annual tribute to British. You have to maintain these armies expenses, food and everything. And see, if this agreement is breached, your territory, portions of territory will be, you know, added to British Empire. Okay, so the policy was easily, this is basically for, you know, expanding the territorial reach of this British Empire. Okay, introduction is by this Wellesley. Yeah.
So Widow Remarriage Act
Widow
1856.
remarriage 1856. When you come across these various social reforms, you know, social reforms during this British India, you know that the pioneer of these social reforms in India is Rajaram Mohan Roy, Brahma Samaj and all. So many reformers are there. So many reformers are there. Rajaram Mohan Roy is there. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. You know what is M. Chirana De. So many people are there. So many reformers are there. Reformist, revivalist leaders are there. Coming to Widow Remarriage Act, it was because of the initiatives by Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Okay. So again, Sadhya abolition by Rajaram Mohan Roy. So many people, so many, you heard about this Tattva Bodhini Sabha, you heard about this particular, what is called, there is something which is by M. Chirana Day, you remember that? A key player, Prarthana Samaj is there. You remember Prarthana Samaj. So many such socio-religious reform movements and leaders are there. Their contributions, ideology is important for your exam. Nice. Next.
Ilbert Bill controversy.
Ilbert Bill controversy is something which is related to judiciary, you know, discriminations existed in judiciary. For example, in British India, there was a rule like this. You know, these European criminals are trialed by, or their trial must be conducted by European judges only. Indian magistrates, they have no right to conduct the trial of these European criminals. Okay, you understood the concept. European judges, they can conduct the trial of Indians and Europeans, Videshi, Swadeshi, everyone. But Indian judges, Indian magistrates, they are not eligible for conducting the trial of these European criminals. European criminals, their trials by these European judges, European magistrates, or these, you know, sub people only. So that was a discrimination which exists. Even though they say everyone is equally treated in the eyes of law, there is discrimination existed within the judiciary. To end that, you know, it was the Viceroy Lord Ripon, yes, who initiated this Ilbert Bill, but that was rejected in the Parliament. Okay,
So who
I
was
mean British Parliament that time. Yeah.
the retired civil servant responsible for INC reforms?
Yes, it was A.O. Hume. He was a retired British civil servant who initiated this conception of this INC or Indian National Congress, which was a political body, which was actually an idea of a retired civil servant, British civil servant A.O. Hume. He said at that time, Viceroy Dufferin, Mr. Dufferin, see, there is again a chance of this 1857 kind of revolt. People are so angry about this British government, British administration. We have to do something. Better is to create a platform so that the educated Indians, you know, they will very politely and formally present the, the what is called the submissions, these resolutions in front of us, so that we can resist, armed violence. Okay, that was the idea, even accepted by Dufferin, even accepted by Indian leaders, because that time they cannot start something against British. This is something started by a British himself, so no objection from Viceroy. That was INC, Indian National Congress.
So safety wall theory is
Safety
associated
valve
with
theory is also associated with this particular INC formation, because that time it was quite difficult for Indian leaders to start an organization which will go against the British government. Okay, so they simply felt that, and also you see that this is an idea by these British historians. Safety valve is something, you see that there is an ever growing, what is called agitation or maybe anger among Indian population. The farmers, the the traders, artisans, everybody is angry about these British policies, especially economic policies. So there is a high chance of next round kind of 1857 revolt. So in order to resist that, they must create a safety valve outlet to this growing anger of this Indian population. For that, they proposed this INC. But Indian leaders say that if INC is a safety valve, then this lightning conductor is a AOQ, because only with such a British officer this is possible. If Indian try to start, they will, in the start itself, they will stop it.
Sir, nature of moderate demands.
Moderate demands, actually, nature is moderate only. I mean, moderates are, a class of or a group of leaders in the INC. Initial 20 years dominated by the moderate leaders. They had moderate demands. Moderate demands means little bit reservation representation. I mean, they never demanded for Purna Swaraj. They never demanded for British must leave India or boycott non-cooperation. Nothing. That was extremist style. Moderates had moderates demands, constitutional demands. That is this reservation, more reservation, representation, please. Okay, they believed in collaboration, cooperation with the British. We can achieve so many things. That is their idea. Okay, but extremist is totally different. They followed these extra constitutional methods of non-cooperation and this boycott, etc. They promoted the idea of Swaraj, etc. Okay,
Sir, main idea behind drain of wealth theory.
which theory?
Drain of wealth.
Drain of wealth theory is actually, it is propounded by Dadabhai Navroji in his Poverty and British Rule in India. So he is an economist and said that, see, this wealth is looted from India in multiple forms. Maybe it is in the form of raw material, salary, pension, or interest for capital investment, in the form of gift, tributes, or shareholders' dividends. In multiple forms, the wealth is looted out of India. Am I right? And the problem is that, okay, looting is fine, but not even a single penny is spent for Indians' welfare. Okay, so that is the biggest finding from drain of wealth theory. Okay, you loot, it's okay, but at least a little bit, you spend for the welfare of Indians. Not even a single penny you spend for welfare of Indians. Okay, so that kind of looting is leading to this so-called, man-made famines and this extreme poverty, etc. That was the idea.
So why Curzon justified
Person
partition of
justified,
Bengal?
you say, partition of Bengal. Yeah, that is on administrative grounds. He said that this Bengal is a huge province, a huge state, and it is quite difficult for a single government or a governor to manage the administration of entire Bengal. So division he justified saying on that administration ground, said that for better administration, this huge state must be divided into west and east. That was his justification. But the real reason is Bengal was the cradle of Indian nationalism. So many educational institutions, intellectuals, renaissance, everything from Bengal. So Bengal actually, it is promoting Indian nationalism or these anti-British trends, and they were afraid of this. So it is to divide that unity, linguistic unity, cultural, communal unity. In order to divide that, he took this initiative.
Sir, Swaraj is my birthright.
Swaraj is my birthright. That is, yeah, it's an idea given by Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Bal Gangadhar Tilak representing that extremist wing of Indian national movement. So Bal Gangadhar Tilak is the trio, three people who represented extremist phase. Three leaders are there. Bal Gangadhar Tilak, then Lala Lajpat Rai, then eh? Eh? Chandrapal. So they are of three places. You see, one Maharashtra, one Bengal, one is Punjab. Okay. Yeah, that is Bal Gangadhar Tilak.
So home rule league was started by who?
Home rule league started by Annie Besant. Actually, the idea is conceived by Annie Besant. She approached INC to start a home rule league. It is on Irish pattern. You demand for self-rule, demand self-rule from this British. But that idea was rejected by Congress because it is during time of World War. So Congress was of the idea that during World War it is better to don't do anything against this British, be in passive phase. But Annie Besant asked, Congress rejected. Then it is Bal Gangadhar Tilak who started, and this Annie Besant started later. So two leaders of Home Rule League movement. One is Annie Besant, other is Bal Gangadhar Tilak.
Sir, Lucknow Pact 1916 is introduced by whom?
Lucknow Pact 1916. Actually, it is a pact between these moderates and extremists, and it is a pact between Congress and the League. Okay, on a joint ground, they agreed for separate electorate, and the moderates and extremists also joined. After Surat split, the moderate extremist wings of Congress, their reunion happened with this Lucknow Pact 1916. Congress and League, the reunion, that is 1916, and they made a joint demand for the separate electorate for the first time. Yeah.
Sir, Khilafat movement was a protest against what?
Khilafat movement was actually a protest against this termination of this, rights of Khalifa. Actually, Ottoman Empire headed by Khalifa, and after World War, there is a treaty signed between these elite powers and this Turkish Empire, Ottoman Empire, in which what happened. I mean, when they're signing a treaty, see, Khalifa is treated as the head of the Islamic fraternity. He is the head of this Islamic fraternity, head of these spiritual centers of Islamic religion. And when the treaty is signed, these Congress Khilafat leaders of India said that nothing should be happened, or nothing should be signed which hurt these rights of Khalifa. I mean, all the holy places, Islamic holy places, must be placed under this Khalifa. His rights must be restored to him. Territories must be given to him. These were the demands. But when this Treaty of Sevres is signed, Khalifa lost his rights, the holy places, his control over the Islamic holy places, and his privileges he lost after Treaty of Sevres, because of which the Khilafat movement started. And Gandhiji realized that even though it is a religious issue, it will unite these Indian Hindus and Muslims on a single platform. That's why he started Khilafat non-cooperation movement. He was the head of that Khilafat committee. He was the president of the conference, and he started Khilafat non-cooperation movement. Yeah.
Sir, which was Gandhi's first All India Mass Satyagraha?
Gandhiji's first All India Mass Satyagraha in a national level, we shall say it is Rowlatt Satyagraha. Rowlatt Satyagraha 1919, you remember. So Gandhiji, after Garwapasi, or after returning from South Africa, he was leader of certain local movements. You remember, there is Champaran Satyagraha, Kheda Satyagraha, Ahmedabad mill strikes. These are localized events. Pan India first Satyagraha, that was Jallianwala Bagh Satyagraha, and the reason is, you remember not the Jallianwala Bagh, Rowlatt Satyagraha, Sidney Rowlatt. He was the chairman of that statutory commission or committee appointed to inquire into. You see, that time the nationalism was growing, militant nationalism, or these nationalist, terrorist leaders, extremist revolutionaries, etc., were growing. So this Rowlatt, Sidney Rowlatt submitted a report. Accordingly, an act was passed. So the Rowlatt Act was actually, it was like a it is something which take away your fundamental freedom of expression. Okay, Rowlatt Act was something like this. You imagine that yeah, your freedom of expression is banned, and see, without a trial, without arrest warrant, anybody can be arrested, anybody can be put in the jail without a trial, without warrant. Okay, so it is again, something against your fundamental rights, you see. So when this Rowlatt Act was passed, it actually mean to, block the growth of nationalism or nationalist revolutionaries, etc. So when Rowlatt Act is passed, since it is blocking your fundamental rights, freedom of expression and all, or freedom of press and all, Gandhiji launched an All India Satyagraha, that was Rowlatt Satyagraha, and eventually resulted in Jallianwala Bagh massacre and all. After which Gandhiji suspended this Satyagraha. So his nationwide Satyagraha First nationwide Satyagraha, it was Rowlatt Satyagraha.
So why the no cooperation was suspended?
Non-cooperation suspended, and it was due to Chauri Chaura incident. Gandhiji said, my Satyagraha is non-violent, and it is, kind of, you do all the suffering part through your sufferings. Yes, you have to change the mindset of your opponents. So Satyagraha means truthfulness, non-violence, sufferings, and all those things are there. But eventually, after the non-cooperation, eventually by 1922, you can see that leading to a Chauri Chaura incident in which 22 police constables being burned alive by the Satyagrahis, police station attacked. Seeing that, Gandhiji understood the Satyagrahis even now didn't understand the full meaning of what is my Satyagraha look like or what is non-violence. So he is suspended due to Chauri Chaura incident.
Hindu Swaraj was written by.
Hindu Swaraj actually it's a work of Gandhiji.
So why Simon Commission and why many protests are also in
Simon Commission actually 1927-28 Simon Commission is actually, you must understand that it's a commission appointed by the British Parliament in order to propose the future constitution. In order to propose future constitution. In 1999 Act, there is a provision like this. After 20 years, a commission would be appointed, and what all these things discussed in the 1999 Act, that would be amended according to these inquiries or according to the studies of this Constitution Commission. So this commission would propose the future constitution. So it's a commission that is to propose the future constitution, and it is rejected or boycotted, but because it is all 7-member white member commission, not even a single Indian member is there. All 7 white member commission of proposing future constitution, Indians have no rights. See, because of which that was boycotted.
So what is Nehru report?
Nehru report was actually, this is the first ever, Indian attempt to draft a constitution. It was the first ever Indian attempt to draft a constitution, because that time this conservative secretary of the state, Barker, had challenged the Indians. Okay, if you dare enough, you draft a constitution which is accepted by all the political parties of India. Because Barker had was of the feeling that such a constitution is not possible. We have lots of parties here. Hindu Mahasabha, Muslim League is there, Congress is there, or Communist Party is there. So many parties are here. So it is quite impossible for drafting a constitution which is acceptable for all political parties. If possible, you do. Then that challenge was accepted by Indian leaders. There is an all-party conference. There is this Nehru committee was formed, and this draft was created. But it was, as Bakar had said, there are many objections from Muslim League, from Hindu Mahasabha. So Nehru report actually they demanded for that, what is called joint electorate, all India federation. So many features were there, but unfortunately, it was not accepted by British. It was not accepted by British. Linguistic reorganization and women rights, so many fundamental rights, etc.
It's a result of Gandhi Irwin Pact.
Result of
Gandhi Irwin Pact.
Gandhi Irwin Pact was suspension of CDM. Due to that mutual agreement, this civil disobedience was suspended, and Gandhiji agreed to participate in the second roundtable conference. Congress participated only in the second roundtable conference, not in the first, not in the third. But B.R. Ambedkar, representing depressed classes of India, he participated in all roundtable conferences. Gandhiji's representation as the representative of national political leadership and Congress, that is in second roundtable conference. So after Gandhi Irwin Pact, there is a mutual agreement, and Gandhiji decided to participate in the second roundtable conference for discussing on the future constitution, but that was a failure.
Sir, civil disobedience movement started with which incident?
That is by Dandi March. There is civil disobedience, which is actually a movement against all these black laws or illegal laws of this British government, challenging their SWALT law. Dandi March ended in the Dandi beach, and illegally they manufactured salt. That was the biggest symbolic protest of this, fighting illegal laws of black laws of this British.
So the highlights of Pune Pact.
Pune Pact actually it's between Gandhi and Ambedkar. So Gandhiji was against that, separate electorate idea, separate or communal electorate idea. Ramsay MacDonald, British Prime Minister, he proposed a separate electorate. Gandhiji was against that. So Gandhiji, went on that fast and to death. And finally, this Ambedkar had to, he was standing for that separate electorate because he believed through separate electorate only untouchables can have a stand in Indian political life. They will get to their rights and they will get a separate political, status or rights, etc. That was his idea. But Gandhiji said if untouchables are treated separate, this untouchability will, or depressed classes are treated separate, untouchability will never end. So Gandhiji's idea was joint electorate and give more reservation representation to depressed classes. That was not acceptable for Ambedkar. But due to his fast and to death and nationwide protest, finally Ambedkar had to, surrender, and finally they signed the Pune Pact, and accepting this joint electorate and more reservation representation for the depressed classes. That was Pune Pact.
Sir, promise of August of 1940.
Sorry?
Promise of August of 1940.
August offer 1940. That is, it's offering a dominion status, not the complete free government, not this on government, self government. Nothing. It is kind of a Canadian dominion status to India. That was the offer only given by August offer 1940. But you must realize that it is Lahore session itself. You remember Lahore session? Which year? 1929. 1920 Lahore session itself, a historic resolution was passed. A resolution was like this: Purna Swaraj was adopted. Purna Swaraj, that is, complete independence was adopted. So till then, Lahore session onwards, 1929 onwards, we were demanding for a Purna Swaraj. Purna Swaraj, complete independence, not just for dominion status. And we were demanding for self-government for Indians. So that was just offering this dominion status.
So the author of Poverty and Un-British Rule in
The
India.
same Dadabhai Naoroji. He was a great economist, moderate leader, and also a scholar and a great orator and nationalist leader. Yeah.
Proposal of cabinet mission.
Cabinet mission proposal, you first understand that it proposed an undivided India. It was against partition. It proposed this, what is called All India Union and a grouping of the provinces, such kind of the things.
Sir, provisional autonomy introduced under.
Provincial autonomy that comes under Government of India Act 1935. That means in the provincial elections, who are the political parties that win the majority vote, they can form own government. That was provincial autonomy.
Sir, which act introduced diarchy in India?
Diarchy concept is double government, again reserved and transferred subjects. Okay, subjects are divided like a reserved subjects and transferred subjects, like authority departments and the responsible departments. So diarchy concept introduced first time, that is in this 1999 Government of India Act 1919, where this provincial diarchy is introduced. Okay, where these responsible departments are given to Indian ministers, and these authoritarian departments, to this British governor and his council members. So British governor or maybe his people are having only authority, responsibility with the elected Indian ministers. That is a failed strategy. The same government, one group is a responsible group, other group is, authority group. Okay, so reserved subject, transferred subject. It's a failed strategy. That was replaced with the provincial autonomy in the 1935 Act. But in the same 1935 Act, central diarchy was introduced. Central subjects are divided like a transferred subjects and reserved subjects. In 1919 Act, provincial subjects like a transferred and reserved subjects. That is provincial diarchy. That was replaced with the provincial autonomy in 1935 Act. But in 1935 Act, when provincial autonomy is introduced, central diarchy was also introduced.
So do or die was given during.
Sorry?
Do or die was given
Yeah,
during.
do or die. That was a slogan given by Gandhiji during this Quit India. It was the Quit India slogan given by Gandhiji. Do something or die, people. Yeah, Gandhiji also came up with that kind of a mindset.
Sir, vernacular press act was passed by which viceroy?
That is this Lytton. Lytton is known for lots of these destructive programs. In Manchester, Lancashire textile lobbies, they were given free trade privilege here. Okay, these import duties being abolished by him. Okay, similar with this vernacular press act, restrictions imposed on Indian press and newspaper and all. So he's known for lots of destructive program. Ripon is known for constructive programs.
So the Purna Swaraj declaration was made at which Congress?
That
session?
is the historic Lahore session 1929.
So what happened at Surat split?
Surat split these Congress leaders divided like a moderates and extremists due to this ideological difference. Moderate ideologies, extremist ideologies, over which group, congressmen divided as moderates and extremists.
Sir, who called Cripps mission a post-dated check on Christian bank?
Yeah, post-dated check on a crashing bank. Yeah, that is something. Gandhiji's description on this Cripps mission proposals. Okay, because British is already crashing. It is Second World War. Am I right? It is World War II. Am I right? During that time, they were offering some kind of these menial things, dominion status, reservation, representation. So Gandhiji said, "You guys are already failing in the World War II. So why should we accept your dominion status? Okay, you are already failing, so we are already getting these independent, we are gonna getting these independence very soon, so why should we accept you are this kind of the things and all, no value." So that means simply that time British in the initial phase of World War II, British was facing what is called failures or reverses. Am I right? So that time Gandhiji said that there is no meaning of this so-called dominion status wala offers and all. We want to Purna Swaraj. Okay. So that is something made by this Gandhiji.
Sir, what was the proposal of Wavell plan?
Wavell plan proposed something like, I mean, so many proposals are there. One of the biggest proposal is that equal wards, these Hindus and Muslims will get equal representation in the Viceroy's Council. That is not accepted by Congress and even not accepted by Muslims due to multiple reasons. So that is again, like a breakdown plan, Wavell plan. So many proposals they presented in front of Indians, but actually all these proposals are actually, I would say that it's a kind of what is called a simply to impress Indians with something and all, but the real game or the real power with the British only. That kind of offers they provided, Indians were not happy with that. Finally, we continuously resisted and come up with this Rin Mutiny, Royal Indian Navy Mutiny, that is treated as the last nail on the coffin of this British. And finally, they understood no other options. Even after this World War, the global scenario also changed to two superpowers, one side USA, USSR, and their pressure also on this Britain, and they have no other options. They have to send the cabinet mission, and finally we can see that there is Mountbatten arriving, and finally there is Independence Act is passed. Mountbatten plan proposals are there. Finally, Indian Independence Act is passed. We got freedom. Thank you so much for asking me questions and giving me an opportunity to answer your questions. So I think we shall wind it up. Thank you.
Gallant IAS, chasing your passion to ace.